This is Danita here in hot, sunny Central Florida. This is July. In the middle of July. Oh, what's crawling on me? 2026. I am sitting on my swing. I just fed my girls. And I like to sit on the swing with them, hang out with them, listen to nature. And I thought I would just cherish these moments by making a video. Because at this moment, it is complete peace. There is no stress. There's no worry. There's no fear. For the first time in my life. Never in my life have I ever felt such peace. And sitting right here. And it took 56 years of my life to get to this point right here. And it has slowly taught me how important and the true meaning of living. This is what it's supposed to feel like to live. For me, sitting right here on this swing, protected by the canopy of the trees, on this beautiful, warm, sunny summer Florida afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock, right smack midday, and nothing matters at this moment but me being able to finally feel freedom. Well, hello. How are you? They thank me every day in such sweet little ways to let me know that I matter to them. They are happy every time they see me. They don't question it. They don't ask what they get for it. They don't ask for it. They just are happy to see me. Every time. Every time. Even when I do little things that they really don't like. But I do it because it's in their best interest. For instance, Shelby here. You see her wing? It's damaged. Her back is even worse. And that is because our rooster is a big rooster. And he has big talons. Because he's a big boy. And his main job, well, his only job, is to protect this chicken and that chicken and all the chickens in his house. That's his only job. And because of that, he has big feet. So he hurts the chicken when he mounts her because he has to keep the race going. So he's not mounting her because he's purposely trying to hurt her. He's mounting her to keep the race going. So it's to benefit the whole flock. But that still doesn't change the fact that that damages her body and causes her a little pain. But she loves her rooster. And she loves her family and her flock and her friends. And because of that, she undergoes the little bit of flaws he has and does to her. Because in the big picture, this hen loves her flock and her family and her rooster. And then so I go and I put an apron on her. And they don't like it. They peck at it. They can't get to their feathers underneath there. It's uncomfortable for them and they don't like it. But they tolerate it. And they still, every single time, are genuinely, unconditionally happy to see me. And many would say, well, that's because he's a chicken, it just wants food. And yeah, because its whole DNA is to eat all day. It's got to worry about food. It doesn't have anybody, animals don't have anybody preparing food for them and have food in the freezer for them. So yeah, that's what they live for every day, their survival the next day. So, I mean, you can't blame the chicken for being happy. They're so happy they see me with food. But if the chicken didn't know who I was, would that chicken bring me into their house? Would that chicken eat it out of my hand? No, it wouldn't. These chickens do. They could leave anytime they want. Their wings aren't clipped. They're not tied in here. Their house door only gets locked at night and gets opened every day. They don't even have to go in there if they don't want to. These birds are completely free. But they choose to live here with me. Just like that little squirrel right there. That squirrel could go somewhere else to try to get food. Yeah, that's what's called living. Living in the moment. That's all that matters. But I will say it took, like I said, it took 56 years of my life for the first time to feel that freedom and that peace. Yeah, and I'd like to share some of those stories with anybody that cares to listen. Oh, those two just had a little fight. So it'll all depend on the attention I get to this video. You don't have to subscribe, or you could, you know what, that's actually, I can go by views, and that way I don't require anything. So the views, and the only reason I say just the views is just so I know that people are actually watching it. And I'm talking about the views, that's because YouTube's algorithm also rate or logs the length of time somebody watches your video, I think. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not trying to monetize this channel whatsoever. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not. But I'm able to find a way to know if anybody's listening or not. I'm just going to go with long-term views. Okay, that's it. And if I get, what I'm trying to say is if I see there's actually some people still listening to this point, because I don't even know if I'm going to end this now. I may tape another 5 minutes. I may tape another 20 minutes. I don't know. But if anybody's watching at this point, I'll know. And if people are watching, well, then I'll make some more. Maybe I'll share some stuff. Everybody's got something to share. But not everybody has somebody to listen. And this is the first time in my life I think there's somebody out there that really wants to listen to what I have to say. So, we will find out. For the moment, let's just sit and listen. They're all going to their favorite shady spot since they ate, except for her. That's Shelby. She's always the last one. I really think she has an eating disorder from a trauma that she occurred a year ago. Yeah. And she almost lost her life. And I really believe I saved her. So maybe one day I will talk about that little story. She also has a big lump that hangs in the front. I think around or under where her groin is. Oh, you can just see it right there. That sack where they store their food when they first swallow. I think it definitely has something to do with her food system, but it's always looked like that, but it's never bothered her in any sign whatsoever, so I've never messed with it. I figured, it's been this long. She just has, in my eyes, she just has a little bit of a deformity, I believe, that came from a traumatic experience she had. Yeah, and that's how she's been coping with it since, is by eating a lot, which I, again, think that has something to do with that sack hanging from underneath of her. Yeah, because technically animals are no different than humans. They're no different than any other species on the earth. There's hundreds of thousands of species on this earth. There are species that are bigger than us, like elephants, smaller than us, like your microscopic organisms and the ones we don't even see. Are we the only ones that think we're smarter than every other species on the planet? Maybe chickens think they're smarter than us. Never thought about that. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is nobody. I mean, I just don't see how anybody could say what species is ultimately better than the other one. I personally think the planet requires, all the species, all of them, to exist. And it seems like the more they start to disappear, the more the world changes in unhappier ways, it seems. And unfortunately, I feel the only species that has caused the disappearance of another species, well, it's humans. That's interesting. But then, well, humans say that there was an ice age that made the humans extinct. But if it made the humans extinct, then what made them before the ice age? So how could humans have ever been extinct if we're still here? I don't know. So nobody really knows. Everything is speculation, hypothesis from the data that you could receive. How do you really know there's not more data out there and you just haven't found it yet? You don't. When it comes down to it, you really don't know. You know nothing. Okay, I think I'm going to end this video on that note. Because I don't know if I'll ever make another. And you don't know if you'll ever know if I make another. Because you just won't know. Because if I never make another, will that mean you won't know? But you won't know, will you? Think on that.